Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Today's video is going to be a little overview about the 2022 Arizona governor election. Hopefully with the information presented in this video, you can have a more thorough understanding about the election so that you can decide if you think that if this election was a fair and free and stable election. So, let's start off with a little popularity comparison. Not Billy, on Twitter said, Arizona should have been a landslide victory for Kari Lake. Nobody can convince me otherwise. So this photo shows Kari Lake and Kati Hobbs, two sides. On Twitter, Kari Lake had 532,000 followers. On Facebook, she had 214,000 followers. On Instagram, she had 370,000 followers. On the next side, Kati Hobbs on Twitter had 130.6 thousand followers. On Facebook, she had 11,000 followers. And on Instagram, she had 6,287 followers. Kari Lake had a combined total across the three social media platforms of 1.11 million followers, while Kati Hobbs had 148,000 followers. Overall, if you looked at the rallies that both of them had, I think, seeing some stuff, I think that Kari Lake overall across the United States, not just in Arizona, but she had more enthusiasm in her base, and her rallies, it looked like they just had more people, and overall the people were just more energetic. While Kati Hobbs, it didn't look like she got many people, and I'm not sure how enthusiastic they were when they really came, in comparison to, Kari Lake's rallies. But let's move on to Kati Hobbs. In high school, did you know that she was, I think she took place in a slave auction? Let's take a look at some images from a Daily Mail article. And the reason why I don't think I'm going to click on the link is because to this article, you guys can find it in the description. The reason why is because when I clicked on it earlier, the advertisements that were all around the article were kind of gross, so I didn't want to put that up on YouTube for everyone to see. So let's look at some images, shall we? So, exclusive: how Arizona's Democratic governor candidate Kati Hobbs organized her high school's Spirit Week, where students took part in a slave day and bid for younger students to perform degrading tasks. Arizona Secretary of State Kati Hobbs is running for governor this year. The student council page with her face on it says the student leaders coordinated Spirit Week events when Slave Day appears to have taken place. It went on for longer than Hobbs' tenure, so it's highly likely she was aware. So another part of the article says, Arizona, well, in this section of the article it says, Arizona Democratic gubernatorial candidate Kati Hobbs was a student leader at her Catholic preparatory high school when pupils took part in a yearly tradition known as Slave Day. Copies from past yearbooks of Seton Catholic Preparatory High School were obtained by dailymail.com and appear to show the practice went on for nearly 4 decades and was last mentioned in a yearbook from 1997. Hobbs, who played an active student body role as a member of the yearbook staff and student council for part of her tenure, went to school there from 1984 through 1988. The tradition entails freshman students performing tasks for their senior class, quote, masters, that included performing embarrassing acts of servitude. So here we go. You guys can take a look at some of these photos. So here's one photo. Moving on to another photo. You guys can take a look at this. Pause the video if you guys want and take a look. It looks like they circled Kati Hobbs' face. So you guys can see that. Moving on to another photo. And moving on to this photo. And I think this is the last photo. So yeah, you guys can take a look and you guys can think what you guys want about these. Now, moving on. This is a video that it looks like Kari Lake was posted to Kari Lake's YouTube channel about Kati Hobbs and, you know, a racist what racism has to do with her past.
Kati Hobbs is a twice convicted racist. Under Hobbs, a woman was fired just for being black.
Kati Hobbs, discrimination hurts.
Hobbs then taxed you the settlement fees.
Nearly $3 million.
And then blamed you for her racism.
What Miss Adams experienced is the systemic inequities and racism.
But maybe the systemic racism is in her roots.
Kati Hobbs organized a mock slave auction.
You are out of order.
Put freshmen in chains.
Kati Hobbs, guilty of racism.
So now let's move on. Let's see about how an election official takes a selfie with Kati Hobbs. Seems inappropriate. So Kari Lake War Room on Twitter posted, "This is the Pima recorder who is tasked with counting our votes. We will give her work the scrutiny it deserves." So as you can see, this woman, she posted, "Got to chill with Democratic candidate for governor, Secretary Hobbs, this weekend. As you know, voting rights are under attack in Arizona. We need a governor who is committed to protecting your rights, including no excuse, vote by mail." Her opponent is still contesting the 2020 election. So as you can see, this is supposed to be somebody who is, you know, supposed to be counting the votes in Arizona. This seems highly inappropriate for somebody to show such, you know, partisanship for one candidate. And it looks like she is against Kari Lake. So let's move on to Fox. It showed a graphic, one of their stations, it showed a graphic about Kati Hobbs winning the election before the election even took place. Here, let's take a look. So, Jesse Princey said, flashback, Fox 10 accidentally releases early graphic showing Kati Hobbs winning over 2 weeks before the election. So in this photo, you guys can see this little graphic that was played on this Fox 10 station. It shows Kati Hobbs 53% and Kari Lake 47%. I think this shows like a little check mark over here. It's so blurry because this is zoomed in. I think it shows a little check mark showing that Kati Hobbs won. I think, what is this? 1,252,437 votes. And this one's a mess. I can't even see this one. But, well, I can't see it that clearly. But let's take a look at a video that Charlie Kirk posted about this. So, Charlie Kirk said,
He's back.
A new report reveals the most.
Charlie Kirk said, in Phoenix, Kari Lake's former station just displayed a graphic showing Kati Hobbs won the Arizona governor's race 12 days before the election. And this was posted October 27th, 2022. Let's take a look.
Fox 10 News is back.
A new report reveals the most expensive cities to rent in, and several places in Arizona made the cut. According to rental site Zumper, the median one-bedroom apartment in the Big Apple goes for more than 30.
So yeah, I'm gonna pause that right there because this, you know, what they're talking about really has nothing to do with what we're, you know, what we're after, which is this. So as you guys can see, this, you know, this thing appeared and it shows how Kati Hobbs won. And this was before the election. So that is very suspicious. So now, who is Kati Hobbs? What's her job? So going to this government website right here. Kati Hobbs is the Secretary of State for Arizona. Let's see what some of her responsibilities are. Let's take a look at one section of her responsibilities. The Secretary of State is Chief Election Officer in the state and is tasked with certifying voting devices, election results, candidates, and ballot measures. So, Kati Hobbs, she has these responsibilities in her own, election race. She is going for, she is running, well, she ran for governor, because at this point she won, apparently. But in her own race, where she was running for governor, she took on these responsibilities, and it seems really inappropriate from, from an outside perspective, because why would she be in charge? What is a nice reason, actually? What's a good reason for her to be in charge of her own stuff, because that's just inviting scrutiny from everybody. And apparently, bipartisan people, they came and they asked her to step down from her role for these tasks, but she refused. So that seems very suspicious that she would not want to go ahead and step down from her role, especially when if the votes came in and she won, if she gave the responsibility to somebody else, it should still be certified if she won or if she didn't win. So that's a very strange move on her behalf when in the context of a fair and free election. So now let's take a look at some of the messages that the media was sending to the masses, conditioning them for the results of the election. Aaron McIntyre said, "They are literally going to tell us every election now that sure it looks like GOP won, but just wait. We'll count the votes until they didn't." So, September 1st, 2020, exclusive. Democrat group warns of apparent Trump election day landslide. So at first, they were warning about a landslide for Trump. U.S. elections 2020, red mirage, the insidious scenario if Trump declares an early victory. How red mirage shaped the 2020 election narrative, January 14th, 2021. October 29th, 2020, Pennsylvania could see a red mirage on election night. Here's why. So as you can see, there's a whole bunch of talk about a red mirage back in 2020. Now, from Aaron McIntyre again, let's take a look at the language of from 2022. He said, if this language looks familiar, that's because it's the exact same media blitz from 2020. ABC News, a red mirage or an artificial GOP vote lead will likely reoccur Tuesday. Fox 2 Detroit, Michigan pollster says expect a red mirage on election night, November 7th, 2022. The New York Times, why early results on election night may be misleading again. As in 2020, Republican votes are more likely to be reported first in key states, giving the party's candidates deceptively large early leads that will probably diminish later on. And then this is a photo of, if you guys know what this is, you guys know what this is, but this is like Trump's thing, and then this was Biden's little line, and then in the middle of the night when a whole bunch of drop-offs came, it just spiked up, and this looks so artificial. But let's move on now to election day issues. So let's take a look at some election issues, and let's start off with a text. Benny Johnson he commented on this from Tyler Bauer, and he said, "Happy Election Day from Maricopa County." This text message says, "So it begins. Want to vote in Chandler," that's what I think it's supposed to read, "at the Catholic Church on Cooper Road. Scanning machine won't scan the ballots. A very few it would scan. So you have to put your ballot in the machine when the lady unlocks it. She says it will be taken downtown to be scanned there. This is why we have no confidence in the process. Oi." So, let's take a look at some long lines now. Jack Soebick, "The lines in Maricopa are insane this morning. This is one poll in Scottsdale at 9 a.m. So as you can see, this was a long line in one of the polling places, and what people were thinking was that these lines were so long, people had to wait for such a long period of time. Who knows if they had other responsibilities to take care of or what, but people sometimes, people would just probably leave line if it took too long, and their vote just wouldn't get cast if they didn't come back later in the day. So now let's take a look at some issues with the machines. Jack Soebick, breaking. Now issues reported with machines in Wickenburg, Arizona, northwest Maricopa. Worker tells the voter to stop filming. Let's take a look at this.
Hey, this isn't working. If these machines are working, this is a big issue.
It's against law.
What is against law?
Photos and videos.
No, I can have a video if this machine's not working. This is not okay. Did it work?
Yes.
Okay. That's awful. Like, this is wrong.
So now let's take a look at another video of Election Day machine issues. So when Charlie Kirk posted, a poll worker in all-important Maricopa County tells Election Day voters the machines are broken. Let's take a look at this.
Everybody wants to make sure that it reads and everything is fine.
Can you repeat that?
I can promise
Can you start from the beginning and repeat that?
So what happens is we have two tabulators. One of the tabulators is not working, okay? The other tabulator is taking about 75% successful. So 25% of them are being misread, and it could be a printer issue, or it could be the tabulator itself. So when it's misread, you have an option to put it into what's called box 3, and it gets read, whether it goes downtown and gets read manually, or whether it gets refed into our tabulator.
You don't want to adjudicate.
They get read, okay? So no one's trying to deceive anybody.
Of course not. Not on election day. That would never happen, right? No, that would never happen.
So choices are, you guys. Sure.
If I get up there and that happens to my ballot, can I take my ballot with me and go somewhere else?
You cannot leave the premises with the ballot. Sorry, and there's not like you can go.
Because I don't trust to go in a box. The box may never make
No,
it down.
no way.
The choice is.
I'll come back.
The choice is to wait until.
So then, let's go on now and click on another video where it shows election issues.
Put my ballot in, but so it didn't.
So then, Charlie Kirk, he posted, poll worker in Maricopa County confirms nothing's working for last half hour. Explains misread ballots will get counted downtown tonight.
So I put my ballot in, but so it didn't. It got misread. But then what was happening?
Put it in there.
Yeah.
And tonight, a Republican and a Democrat will sit and go through all of the misread ballots all over the county.
Okay.
And count them, and it will get counted.
Okay. And
okay.
But both machines were not working. Yeah.
No, nothing's working in the last half hour. Nothing.
Thank you. So I put my ballot.
All right. So now let's take a look at some fishy officials. So let's take a look at some officials that kind of don't look professional. These guys don't look like they're really professional. They look kind of partisan, you know? Like they're rooting for one side and against the other one. So let's start off with that photo, that tweet from earlier, posted by Kari Lake War Room about this lady. This tweet was already covered, but I'm putting that up so you guys can remember this. So that lady, she's one official who looks partisan. And then, let's take a look at something that Charlie Kirk posted. Maricopa County's recorder, Stephen Richer, and chairman of the County Board of Supervisors, Bill Gates, confirm an incredible 20% of polling places are experiencing problems with the machines and tabulating votes. This is manufactured chaos. Stay in line, vote in person. Now, watch this quick video, and then I'll show you guys why these guys are partisan.
Elections here in Maricopa County as a team, and we're very excited about how things are going today on Election Day. We had all 223 vote centers have opened. We've already had over 45,000 people who have checked in and already voted today. We did want to come out and discuss one issue that's going on out there in about 20% of the vote centers. Again, we have 223 vote centers across the county. In about 20% of those, when people will go and they try and run the ballot through this tabulator, maybe 1 out of every 5 or so of those ballots, they're not going through. The board and the recorder run.
All right, so yeah. There you go. It looks like Stephen Richer. So keep this in mind. Stephen Richer is this dude, I think. And then Bill Gates, he is this dude. Not the really, really famous Bill Gates that, most of us know. But this is another Bill Gates. So now let's take a look at an article from Post Millennial. So the Post Millennial, they have this article, Maricopa election officials launched PAC in 2021 to stop MAGA candidates. it has been revealed that embattled Arizona Maricopa County Recorder Stephen Richer and Supervisor Chairman Bill Gates in 2021 started a political action committee to stop MAGA candidates. On November 17, 2021, Meg Cunningham from the Kansas City Beacon tweeted that Richer, the Maricopa County Recorder, is launching a PAC to support Republicans or ours running for non-federal Arizona offices who acknowledge the validity of the 2020 election and condemn the events of January 6, 2021 as a terrible result of the lies told about the November election. So as you can see, this dude, these two dudes from this video that I just showed you, hold on. From this video, these guys are partisan. They donated to, well, they started a PAC against
elections.
MAGA. They started a PAC against MAGA candidates. So in another article from the Post Millennial, it says, top Maricopa County election official donated to far-left resistance group Patriot Takes. And here you go, Stephen Richer again. On Monday, it was revealed that top Maricopa County election officer Stephen Richer, who helped to oversee elections in Arizona, donated to the far-left resistance group Patriot Takes. Patriot Takes is a hybrid PAC that describes itself on Twitter as a group of dedicated researchers monitoring and exposing right-wing extremism and other threats to democracy. So as you guys can see, you know, these officials who are supposed to be nonpartisan they look overtly partisan on, you know, in favor of Kati Hobbs and against Kari Lake. So now, let's take a look at Fox News reporting on some of the election issues happening on Election Day. Benny Johnson said, breaking, Fox News reports on Maricopa's massive trouble with tabulation machines. Let's take a look at this video.
We are following breaking news in Phoenix, Arizona, the capital of Phoenix there in Maricopa County. Seems to be having massive trouble with 20% of its tabulation machines at election board offices. Look at this. I mean, we've got video of people in line now. And Kari Lake, who's the Republican running for governor in that state, just tweeted, I'm getting flooded with calls and text messages from people who are having trouble voting all over Maricopa County. This is why we must reform elections. Brett, we will be talking about this throughout the evening. I do want to make it really clear that this is not all machines at all of these places. But when we say 20%, we mean a fifth of the 221 centers are affected, having some sort of tabulation or counting problems, and they have, as of a few minutes ago, reportedly by Phoenix 10, Fox 10 there, no idea why so many of the machines are not working.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interacting with people on the ground, too. I have some friends in there that tried to vote. One of them said she tried to vote in Scottsdale and her ballot was rejected 20 times. So she waited around and said, can you get me to one of the devices that works? It took a while, but eventually got to the accessible device, the tabulator, and she did vote. But others are saying that there's a long line for the machine that works, so they're being told to fill out this ballot and put it in this lockbox where they will be counted later and brought to the county tabulation site. If you do that, however, there's a chance that that ballot won't be counted until at the end of counting for Arizona.
Right.
They say it'll be counted.
And what date do you put on that?
Yeah, today.
No, I'm being serious about that because that's a problem that they're having in Pennsylvania right now.
Yeah,
They've
but
got
this
a lot
would
of
be,
ballots
they would get
that
filled
have
out
wrong
there.
dates.
That's right.
So a different situation out there, but the date counts too. So do you put it on the date of the election? Do you put it on?
Yeah, you put it on the date of the election.
Yeah, this gets
but here's
tough.
the bottom line is that we kind of knew that this election was going to happen. You know, I mean,
right. Oh, you mean maybe we've been getting ready for it for a while?
How about we fix the machines? I mean, why is this happening? Can we get our head around? There are going to be problems all over the country, some problems, but for it to happen here, for it to happen now in this way is kind of strange.
So as you guys heard, I think his name is Brett Baer. I think you guys, heard what he said. Why did that happen on that day? It's like they knew that the election was going to happen on election day. How come it looks like they just weren't prepared? And the question is why? So now let's take a look. Oh yeah, by the way, Kati Hobbs was Kati Hobbs inside of a place where they count the votes? It looks like in response to Kati Hobbs, one of her tweets, Carolina Quest or Carolina Oest said, "Is this you? Is this you where votes are counted? Because it looks like you, and it's time-stamped." And then she went on to say that she needs some jail time. So if we look at this photo, it looks like it could be Kati Hobbs inside of a place where they are counting the votes, and this was November 9th, 2022, 10:07, and then whatever seconds that was. So it looks like she was in a place where they were counting votes. The question is, why? This is literally an election where she is running in for governor. Why is she in the place where they're voting? Where they're counting the votes? Now, let's take a look at what Kevin Sorbo said. Kevin Sorbo, he said on Twitter, "Ah, yes, the voting red except for governor. That makes sense." So what this photo is it shows on November 13th, 2022, 93% of the votes were counted. So it shows the governor race, and this shows the treasurer race. So it shows Kati Hobbs 1,211,595 votes, and then Kari Lake had less than that, 1,185,584 votes. However, for the treasurer race, Kimberly Yee, who is a Republican, had 1,299,047 votes, while the Democrat had 1,041,785 votes. So the question is, why would this looks like people might have voted for Kati Hobbs for governor and then voted for a Republican for treasurer. And so I guess Kevin Sorbo's point is, does that make any sense? They're gonna pick two different candidates. They're gonna elect for two different candidates. Usually people would go down the line for one party in most circumstances, in my opinion. So that's very strange behavior. But let us take a look at the election results. 98% reporting the Associated Press has called the race. Kati Hobbs, she wins with 1.2 million votes. Well, 1,270,000. Kari Lake, 1,251,000. So, as we can see, Kati Hobbs pulls off the win somehow. And just to wrap it up, let's see what somebody on Twitter said. Josh Stemile or Stemile. This dude, he said, "I didn't vote for Kari Lake, but when her opponent is in charge of running the election and counting the votes, and a bunch of voting machines go down on election day, and then it takes a week to count the votes, and the votes came out in favor of the opponent, well." And by the way, election day was on Tuesday, I think November 8th, and it took them about 6 days to count the votes and come to who to call the race for Kati Hobbs. So it just seems very suspicious. You start off with somebody who is popular. Kari Lake. You can see the popularity difference through this one method where they calculated that. So it looked like she would, do better. And so, Kati Hobbs, you see how she had... You see how some election officials are blatantly partisan. You have this lady who took a photo with Kati Hobbs. Then you have Stephen Richer and Bill Gates over here. Let me see, Fishy officials. You have these guys who are also helping count the votes. And then you have people, people getting basically starved out of their vote, starved out of their vote by making them wait forever. Not forever, but, making them wait a long time to go cast their vote. And then you have, you know, these malfunctioning machines and people being said, you know, we'll count your vote later. And then on top of that, you have people who look like they went out of their way to vote for different parties when usually people would vote down the line. So overall, that is a little overview about the 2022 governor election for Arizona. Let me know if this video, with the information provided, if you think that this is a fair and free and stable election, or if your confidence in this election was kind of shaken with its, you know, legitimacy. Let me know, and if you guys have any questions, thoughts, or, you know, anything you guys would like to comment them down below in the comment section. And if you guys have anything you would like to email, any questions or comments, you guys can email the email that we provided down in the description below. And links to these, you know, tweets and stuff should be down in the description if you guys would like to see them. With all that being said, may the Lord Jesus bless you and have a blessed day.